Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is Sumit 𝗏𝗏𝗏. A lot happening in the Middle East and elsewhere. Let's welcome him. Sumit ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you?
Jai Siya Ram, Radhe Radhe, all good and fine. By the grace of Lord 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and your Ashirwad. Namaskaram to you and all the viewers, sir.
Viewers, we are having some technical difficulties and it is not us, it is somebody else. I think maybe the hosting program. We are still debugging this. That's why it got delayed today. It's not that we were late. So these are all par for the course. A lot of disturbances around the world. It could even be a solar flare. Who knows? Sumit ji, I yield the floor to you. Let us start with what is happening in Trump's mind. Because see, yesterday what happened was 𝗟𝗏𝗏 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 came back and said, look, I have been misquoted. There is a perception, a nuclear perception threat. Does that mean that now US is convinced that Iran has a nuke? Because that is what is the underlying thing that we are hearing, especially from Israel. So, can I clarify, because Trump has been yelling at 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 didn't say anything for 2-3 days and then suddenly she says, yes, there is a nuclear threat. So somewhere something has changed. We understand it is intelligence. If it is truth, then it becomes fact. This is all intelligence gathering. So we understand things go from one way to the other. Over to you, sir. I've set the stage. Take it away.
Sir, in the name of Bhagwan Shri Ganesha, let's do the Shri Ganesha of today's vlog. Look, it looks increasingly more and more palpable and more possible that America has made its mind that it will attack Iran. It looks more palpable because when Trump was asked that do they have a nuclear bomb, he says, yes, they are weeks away. He was asked, but your intelligence says they don't have it. He said, who is the intelligence? 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and he said directly, she's wrong. She is wrong. Well, look, there's a technical issue here. According to 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the previous version was that Khamenei has not given the go-ahead to make the bomb. Make the bomb is basically assemble the components and put it in a box. That's how I look at it. But what Trump says, when your uranium is enriched to 60%, from 60 to 90, it's 5% of the time. 10 to 24 days or 4 to 14 days, depending on the centrifuges you have, and they are one of the best centrifuges in the world, you can enrich and make it a complete bomb. So even if you have uranium which is enriched at 60%, it's a matter of 10 to 14 days to get a nuclear bomb out of it. Enrichment to 60% only happens when your intentions are of a nuclear bomb, else you don't need this kind of enrichment. Secondly, Trump makes a valid point. Why does Iran need nuclear power? You have one of the world's largest oil reserves. Your population is not too much, it's 8 crores, and you have all the oil in the world. You are not power, you're not power dependent. In a way, your consumption is not more than what you produce. And secondly, there's no great industry in Iran. For example, look at US. US needs a lot of power because the data centers which are going to come up for the AI, everybody needs huge power. And I remember my Bill Gates once quoting that for upcoming data centers, we might have to put a small nuclear reactor along with it to generate the power. So in US, we understand there's a need for power and we've been talking about it. What is your need for power? Even if you have a need for oil, all the oil in the world. So why do you need to go nuclear? So these are some legitimate points. And if you don't want a bomb, why do you have a further? What are IR6 centrifuges doing? IR6 only kind of enriches from 60 to 90 for the bomb. They have no other use. Why have you embedded them in a mountain? Why do you have 300 people? There are some of the palpable questions which Trump is saying. So there has been a confusion. Well, 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, look, Khamenei has not given a go-ahead to make the bomb. That means to put everything in a box and the bomb is ready. Why Khamenei has not done, and I'll tell you. If Khamenei gives that go-ahead, that means immediately Iran becomes a legitimate target. Immediately America can attack it. But today, it's like I have put, this bomb in 3 pieces. I'm not putting it in a box and putting a fuse. So you can technically say, no, I don't want to have the bomb because I have not made the bomb. But I can make the bomb in 10 days or I can make the bomb in 1 or 2 weeks. Why 1 or 2 weeks? That is the time which takes for the enrichment. And if I quote Marco Rubio, he said the next stage of enrichment is only 5% of the work. Now here, what are they waiting for? They are waiting for a period wherein America is in deep trouble. What is that period? Let's say there's a Black Lives Matter. They enter into a conflict with China. There is some internal sabotage. There is impeachment of Trump. There is infighting, Black Lives Matter. Anything which puts America out of the gear for 15 days. No defined command. No defined leadership. That is the time when this enrichment will happen. And this enrichment will not only happen, they will detonate the bomb and tell you, look, the bomb is detonated. Now we are a nuclear power. And they will not make one. Remember, they will make at least 5 or 10 together. They say, I have detonated one, I have 9 foremen. And now with the missiles which can carry up to 3,000 kilometers, now the problem is they can go to anywhere in the world. And look, what did MBS say? MBS said that if Iran has a bomb, come what may, I will get the bomb, whatever it takes. Now, there will be a man who will be ready to spend maybe 50 or $100 billion, even more than that, to have a nuclear bomb. So what fundamentally it does, it upsets the complete power balance in the Middle East. So to do that, Trump said, okay, we are contemplating. Now the question is, what is Trump contemplating? What does Trump want? What is Trump waiting for? There are a lot of questions which are coming like that. I'll tell you what is contemplating for, what are his drawbacks. Look, 𝗏𝗏 cannot be, you cannot bring it down with even one 𝗣𝗏-57. You need a couple of them. You need to fly in B-2 bombers from USA. You cannot keep B-2 bombers anywhere in the Middle East because they will be 101% targeted. So you have to fly them, you have to do a mid-air refueling, you have to bring them, and they have to come. The IDF has to work in tandem. They have to destroy the facility. They have to go. You have to make sure there is no radioactive leaks. And as per my assessment and what I have been reading, it will take 5 or 7 strikes to get rid of 𝗏𝗏 to make sure 𝗏𝗏 is dismantled. Now, what is the immediate threat? The immediate threat is Iran is saying, if you do it, I'll go and attack all your bases in the Middle East. Even today, they have repeated the threat. While as today was very interesting how it worked out. Iran's defense minister is repeating the threat, what he used to say earlier. 𝗥𝗘𝗙 was meeting his brother Muslimin in Istanbul, and then he's supposed to meet Europeans in European leaders in I think Geneva for some kind of a talk. So it's a complete diplomatic hogwash. You're coming to that. So what are the bases? US has 5 or 7 major bases, and it is not US bases have not been hit before. Look, when they took out 𝗏𝗏 Soleimani, 11 missiles were fired. A couple of American soldiers got injured. Some of them got badly injured. The bases in Iraq were attacked, and there have been instances where the bases in the Middle East have been attacked further. So there is an important base in Iraq which is immediately under threat, because remember the group PML. PML has threatened that we will launch a ground assault against this. Imagine a situation where the rockets are coming and somebody starts a ground assault. Then, according to the militias of the Middle East, American bases are those duck farms. They call them duck farms because in a duck farm you only farm ducks. So they say it doesn't matter whom you kill there. It's an American who will get killed. That is what we care for. So that calling them duck farms makes the situation very volatile, makes the situation highly, highly dangerous for America. That is the base in Iraq, number 1 attack. Number 2, you have a very, very strategic base. There are 5 or 7 in US, in the Middle East. Second is the base in Qatar, one of the biggest naval bases. And there you have more than 10,000 people, overall more than 45 to 55,000 people, depending on the deployment is there in US. They are in Middle East. Then you have one important base which is in UAE. What is the important was the UAE base? It is your air defense system training center. It is your missile defense training center, and all the big those jets of the America, they will be there. I mean, I miss the ones who are on aircraft carriers. All those will be there. When you are moving F-22, where do they land? They land in UAE. So UAE is within the hitting range. And then the regional conflict escalating into them, then Iran possibly trying to target the oil fields, that is a possibility. But here's the question: what is the nuclear arsenal? What is the arsenal? Iran doesn't have a nuclear arsenal yet. What is the arsenal of Iran? I've been arguing one thing, that Iran doesn't have a lot of ballistic missiles. I got into a fight with a couple of people on the TV who said, oh, Iran has millions of missiles. I say, come on, for the sake of God, nobody has millions of ballistic missiles. It is impossible to have a million ballistic missiles. You cannot have them. Even America doesn't have them. They have very limited, this missiles with them, right? So the question here is, now, it is believed what Pentagon calls missile maths. Pentagon said, and IDF said, they don't have more than 1,800 ballistic missiles. How many of them have been used? 450. How many drones? Around 100 or around 1,000 drones. Most of these got intercepted. How many missiles did Iran launch on Israel today? 20. How many yesterday? 40. How many first day? Hundreds. So the point here is that the arsenal is not too much, and you cannot spread it too wide. But what they are waiting for, they are saying, if America joins us, at least we will go and attack the American bases, and it will be a full-fledged regional conflict, because the retaliation will come on these countries. The America will retaliate. Whatever happens to Iran or not, before dying, they will set the whole Middle East on fire, and which includes the oil refining capabilities of Saudis and everybody around in the world. So now Trump has to contemplate how to do it. And even if you have to fly those B-2 bombers, they will come from Missouri, and they will, they can't be kept in the Middle East, as I told you. Now, how to do it? How many? Because one B-2 at one time can carry one 𝗣𝗏-57, only one. It can't carry 2. So if you need 7, how do you plan the strike? How do you cover the bases? New oil fillers, anti-air defense systems, all kinds of equipment and men have been flown in, but still you have 50,000 men, 55,000 men at stake. You have 2 aircraft carriers at stake, and you have a lot of strategic depth which you have got in Middle East that is at stake. And then at the time of that night, you have to coordinate with IDF. You have to make sure you have 5 or 7 GBU-57s which can destroy that base. And after that, you have to make sure there is no nuclear radiation leaking. And with it, there will be 300 people who will perish. Then there will be a backlash in the region. You have to manage that. And on the top of that, there's a second angle to it, which I'm going to come after because Sree sir wants to make a point. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, according to a report by Fox News, six B-2 bombers are headed towards Iran. Some of them may be stationed in Guam. This is the latest information we have. We are still trying to find out from where they left. It is believed to have left Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, and it's headed towards Iran. They may not all be in Guam. They'll be positioning them in 2 or 3 places, I think. So there is some preparation going on from the US. I just wanted to give you that update. Back to you, sir.
Definitely, sir. I 100% concur with you. I mean, maintaining my point. It is not easy to hit Guam. It is very deep because the terrain of the place makes it very difficult to hit. But I mean, people think it's like a Hindi movie. It's like a typical Bollywood movie. Arey, abhi kar do. Why Trump is not doing it? Why is it taking so much of time? And this all what I believe what 𝗠𝚢 and Trump are trying to do this. I don't know. You don't know. You don't tell me. I think this is all strategic dissonance which they are. I am using the word strategic dissonance which they are trying to create. Why? Because they want to keep Iranians guessing. The inference of this is that 𝗠𝚢 doesn't know what she's doing. Trump doesn't know what to do. America is a divided house. Okay, happy, well, jolly, well, live with it. And what happened in these 2 days when all these illusions and perceptions were going? Yesterday, they bombed the most strategic site in Iran, Zavania. No, sir. 𝗟𝗡𝗏. I think 𝗟𝗡𝗏.
Oh, that is the suburb of Tehran.
Yeah, they bombed that, right? And that is, what is that site? That is where the all nuclear brain, my pronunciation of Iranian sites may not be so good, excuse me for that. That is where all the nuclear brain of Iran was. That is where all those data, that servers, everything, what they have accumulated in the last 50 years was there. And it is also believed, a lot of simulators were there, lots of test labs were there. And it had what is something called as a AI of the war. What is AI of the war? Because after Israelis weaponized AI and made their weapons based on that, and this Unit 82,000 and all, everybody in the world tried to copy Israelis. And whatever AI-based warfare of weaponizing the AI, those labs, that research was again there. So they dismantled the 60 gents, went in and pounded. And what happened, she said? When they pounded the place, the fire engines were not let there. Only ambulances were let there, and they were carrying out the dead. So the question is, who was died? How many people died? Who is Iran hiding? And how many people were killed there? So this is a very important thing. And this site is completely wiped off. And forget the Arak hard water reactor. That's completely gone. This site means it is like shooting somebody in the head, because the brain of the nuclear, whatever nuclear is left of Iran, is that brain. And if you get that out, so what is that? The logic is that they have taken, it's like, you know, I might be a very strong, I might be more stronger than Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I might be able to handle 20 men in a combat. But if somebody puts a bullet in my head, you know, my physical strength doesn't matter then. So that is exactly what Israel did. So while we are talking of talks, while we are talking of escalation and de-escalation, all the drama and the smoke screen, this side gone down. And today, what have they done? Isfahan, they have again bombarded 50 jets. They have bombarded it over the night, 50 jets. And what were they targeting? They were targeting there was a production facility within the site which was making centrifuges. So earlier strike, they damaged the existing centrifuges. The site is not working, but there was still a production facility which was making the centrifuges. No, the newer ones. So they went in and they destroyed that. So now the site cannot make any new centrifuges. And let me take you back. What is the balance of this whole mathematics? 65% of the enrichment, Natanz, gone. Another 15 to 20%, Isfahan, existing gone, new cannot be done. And where is the balance? Balance from 60 to 90 Fardo, the most secured site, which is on the, I think, world geopolitical map now. So that is where this site looks. And Israel says after this site, we are further distancing them from making the bomb. That is what Israel has to say. But what do the allies of the America have to say? If I look at the British Foreign Minister, David Lammy, he says, oh, it will lead to escalation in the region and we have to control it and all. And the French Defense Minister, Mr. Barrett, believes, Mr. Baron or Barrett, whatever his name is, he believes that military actions can delay Iran from getting a bomb, but cannot stop Iran ultimately from getting a bomb. And David Lammy warns America, if a forced regime change is engineered into Iran, that can be a catastrophe which the world cannot handle. Now, I don't know who's on which side and where the things are happening. In the meanwhile, there was also all the Muslim countries got under a Muslim Congress in Tehran, which Erdogan kind of hosted, and Erdogan is fuming. He's warning everybody. He's trying to scare everybody, or the hell is going to break loose. So under this Muslim Congress, it was talked of a Muslim unity, how Muslims should come together, and how the Zionist regimes, along with Christians, are trying to target Muslim interests in Yemen, in Palestine. They had a long list. And eventually the problem is that I think minus 2 countries, if you take Indonesia, maybe Malaysia, and maybe third is Tunisia. I think minus that, there has not been any country where democracy has ever worked in a Muslim country. These are the only 3 countries where you still have some fair elections. Indonesia is a completely fair election. Malaysia, you can agree. And maybe Tunisia. Minus the, out of 57 countries, 54 countries do not have a fair election. And when they have a laundry list of all the countries, nobody is talking about why the trouble is within these countries. Nobody is talking about what is wrong with us, why we are only in trouble. Why, if we do a comparison and we flip the tables and we put Christian countries in, why don't we have trouble there? Nobody is ready to ask that. Now the new villain is Israel, and the big king villain is America. So again, threatening America, that will eliminate all your bases. Trump has to do a lot of calculations, and Trump is not going to tell you what he's going to do. And mind it, friends, the 14 days window is not after 14 days. It's up to 14 days. So what does that typically mean? That typically means even today. That means after 1 hour, that means after 30 minutes. So window does not mean after 14 days. It is any time now. And what Sree sir was telling us, that's a very important piece of update. Now, if they are flying 6 B-2 bombers, that means these B-2 bombers are not flown from a picnic. They have a mission in mind. And looking at the situation in the Middle East, looking at what they're trying to do in the Middle East, there's all possibility that they've flown. And each one of them will carry a GBU-57. What is required is a 14,000 kilogram bomb. I think it weighs, it's around $500 million per piece. So a B-2 bomber is a $2 billion bird. So $2.5 billion, one piece of metal flying in the air, and you have 5 of them. So it's a high stakes game. And if you expect it to be settling like this, it is not going to settle. But what Trump is smartly doing, he's not letting anybody think what he's thinking. Because remember, I think day before yesterday, Wall Street Journal had an article in the day where said, oh, Trump has privately agreed to strike, but he's not conveying. Trump put a post on the truth. Nobody can know what I'm doing. Wall Street has no idea. So I think all this facade which is being done is basically to create a strategic dissonance so that nobody can guess what is the next move. Chaos is the opportunity. Confusion is a weapon. And being discreet and speed, and having the speed is speed and stealth is what we must have. Exactly. Speed, stealth, and strength is what we showed in Operation Sindoor. Americans are exactly going to show that. I will continue after Sree sir makes a point. Yeah.
Sumitji, a lot of things happening even as we speak. Khamenei has said that he has chosen 3 successors, but he has not named them. I'm sure the names will leak out. So this is one thing. The second thing about the claim that Bibi Netanyahu made that the Iranis tried to assassinate Trump at least twice. Yeah. I know for a fact one time the news came out in US where they had plotted to assassinate Trump, and this came 2-3 months ago. So one is for sure true. The other one has not really seen the light of the day. So there are escalating factors that are happening from Iran's side also. They think that by assassinating Trump, that the Republicans will just cool down and nothing is going to happen. It's never like that. Johnson was the one who got US into Vietnam. They thought that by getting rid of Kennedy, that the nuclear stuff is all going to go away. US just became more hawkish. The decision of the president is not his alone. There's a lot of people who are advising him, saying that this is what, they show data, this happened, escalation, and so on. So a lot of things are happening. So we have to wait and see how this thing plays out. Now, like you said, it could be, strategic dissonance, misinformation between 𝗤𝗙𝗏 𝗏𝗏 and Trump to try and keep the pot boiling. Let them guess. Let Iran guess what's going to happen, right?
What do we think? If I am Trump, I will not even let you know what I'm thinking. I will give you impression of where broken house. Arey bhai, pata nahi kya ho raha. That is the strategy I will use. Now, very important thing is which you made a point, sir. And let's not forget and remind our viewers that Trump has signed an ordinance if something happens to him, if he's assassinated by Iran, specifically directing J.D. Vance, who will take the power that you have to dismantle Iran completely, is a signed order from Trump. So what Bibi Netanyahu is claiming, there were 2 attempts, looks logical, because if I put this signed audience where Trump has kind of instructed his junior or his deputy that if you have to take power, if I'm assassinated by Iran, you have to do it. So let's not think Iran is not playing the game. Iran has already started playing the Muslim card, getting the Muslim countries together. Thankfully, in these Muslim countries, our friendly neighborhood Pakistan is missing. That is the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Munir ad with coffee with Trump has worked. Islamic super boy. Pakistan is not in the game. And though, and even Pakistan made clear, my Islamic bomb is only for me, it's not for you. So, people at times, people jump the gun. They love America bashing. They want us to, judges say, oh, this is America's bad. But they don't understand. Trump wanted to make sure Pakistan is out of the game. He wants to make sure China doesn't intervene. He's using Putin for that. And India definitely will not help Iran. That doesn't go there. So there are things which are done, and you cannot risk everything. You cannot have 50,000 people killed and all your interests and all your bases depleted in Middle East. You might get one furlough in the return. So is it worth the shot? These are all the tough decisions which people in the power have to take. And in the meanwhile, there was this. I love this part of it that France, UK, and Germany saying, okay, let's talk to 𝗥𝗚𝗏. Let's have a nuclear talks with 𝗥𝗚𝗏. The first of thing is, if I look at them, they're all hogwash. Nothing is going to happen in these talks. Why? I'll tell you why. Because first of all, when Americans told Iran's 𝗥𝗚𝗏, the foreign minister, by the way, today Turkish foreign minister is also warning of catastrophic consequences. I am yet to find a guy who is not warning of catastrophic consequences. Good for you. Now, what they are saying is that he says, I will not talk to America. Why? Because I want America to tell Israel to stop the aggression, because Israel is the aggressor. And unless and until the aggressor stops the aggression, we are not going to talk with you. That's okay, right? But I'm willing to talk to Germany, UK, and France. For the sake of God, can somebody explain me one thing? What is the say of Germany, UK, and France in this all? What is the leverage they have over Israel? Zero. Why should Israel listen to them? Zero. Why should Trump listen to them? No. And exactly this is what Trump said today. He said, I don't understand, what are they going to talk? I mean, they are not the players in the game. If anybody who will be or who has a say, who has a possible say, is us. It is the America. If the America and Iran don't agree, Israel don't agree, nothing will happen. But if you really want to do, you have to come and talk to us, because they are not coming and talking, because that will be unconditional surrender. So Iran still doesn't want to be seen as surrendering, while Khamenei in a bunker has designated 3 people, out of them one is going to be successor. If Khamenei is not fearing assassination, why is he designated 3 people? There's a rumor, sir. I am not confirming it. This is speculative in nature. Let's put the caveat in before. I think Khamenei has been eliminated yesterday or some time back, because for last 16 hours, there is nothing coming from Khamenei, because we know that he was in a bunker with his mental problems, 86, schizophrenia, and all those things. I don't know how long can he live in a bunker. And there is also part of the intel which suggests that the site which was just dismantled yesterday north of Tehran, earlier we know he's in some bunker in Zamran. Now we know the site which was possibly dismantled yesterday, was Khamenei in a bunker below that site. It's quite a possibility he was there. And they are not disclosing it because that will lead to complete anarchy. So what they are saying is, okay, we have kind of identified 3 out of 3, 1 will go. Second thing is, they say that Khamenei...
What is the proof for this? Is there any link that we can share with our viewers?
It is all, I'm telling you, speculative. It's intel-based information that possible. And the only proof what we can show is that since yesterday, we have not heard about from Khamenei. Since last night, around 15-16 hours, we are not hearing any. Now, to add to that, why this success drama suddenly came up? And what they are saying, there is no electronic surveillance communication Khamenei. Only the trusted people are going into the bunker and they are communicating and talking. Now, how do you even know who was talking? How do you know what happened? How do you know one of the trusted persons must have eliminated Khamenei? How do we know what is happening? Because unless and until there is a public announcement or there's some kind of validation, you cannot say I'm hiding in a bathroom and I've designated my successor. That is what is making things worse. Are they hiding the eventual? Sorry, yesterday is the site which got dismantled. Why fire trucks were not sent in there? Why only ambulances? There was so much of fire. 60 junks pounded it for hours, but you are not sending in the fire trucks there. Why? What are you hiding there? I am asking this question. What are you hiding there? What is hidden in that site? And after that, there was a 5.2, on the Richter scale, there was earthquake also. Now, possibly some people say there was some ammunition or some possibly enriched uranium which might have been stored in a bunker or a facility deep that site, which possibly got detonated. Because usually whenever there's a nuclear detonation, the earthquakes you will get is from 5 to 5.5. If it is below 5 to 5.5, 90% chances is not a nuclear detonation. So this earthquake, which suddenly happened after the site got bombarded, 2 or 3 hours after the site got bombarded, this adds to it. No fire trucks, only ambulances.
And these things don't have any aftershocks, right? These things don't have any aftershocks. So that is another sign that perhaps it was a nuclear storage site or something like that. Again, these are all speculations, viewers. All we are trying to do is connect the dots. Remember, we are analyzing news. We are not giving you the news. So some of you are putting vitriol. I kind of don't like that, because we feel that we are making the best use of your time by making you come to our channel. So please respect that. Over to you.
So the point here is that we have to see things in a logical fashion. Sir, I mean, swear to God, if I would be knowing that Khamenei is dead or alive, I had a proof, I'd be in 𝗠𝗢𝗏𝗄𝐻 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's place and you will be my boss. we would not know that, friends. Understand? We are only joining the dots, and we're saying because these things were happening. Now the question is, the $1 million question is Israel stopping? Is this diplomacy stopping Israel? Is Israel not doing what it's supposed to? I'm not even counting the IRGC bases. I'm not counting even the 3 commanders. The 3 top commanders which even got killed today. There were 3 top commanders which Israel has eliminated today, and Israel every day is giving a list of people which they are eliminating day by day by day by day. So if you look at the Zovranian site, if you look at this Isfahan, if you look at the strategic sites, and everything is happening. And on the top of that, even we had to, from Marshad, we had to evacuate a lot of people. I think we have 290 Kashmiri students which were there have been evacuated, and there will be 2 more planes which will be going today. And eventually I found something interesting. I was talking to a friend maybe 5 or 10 minutes before the show. He told me, I don't know, he told me that these people are now protesting in the Delhi airport. I said, why? He said they will not go by road to Kashmir, arrange a plane from Delhi to Kashmir. I said, come on, find a ticket, now buy a ticket. Why should Modi pay for your ticket from Delhi to Kashmir? Why don't you want to go by road? But that's a different issue. So that is also what is happening. So, a lot of things are happening. We are getting 2 more flights out, and there are few thousand.
One question in this. Sorry to interrupt you. One question in this. See, we know the 3 flights came. So maximum you would have had is 1,000 people, assuming that you really packed them and like Airbus plane, you would have got 1,000 kids out. All I saw, I think only 290 or something landed. So maybe 2 flights or something like that.
On the way, or they will land, sir. They will land. They have not landed. 1 has landed. 2 are going to land. There's, I think, 1 in the night, or there's 4 in the morning. That is what the schedule looks to be, where they will land. But the problem is, somebody was telling me there are around 10,000 kids there. I think they're only evacuating from Marshad because the Marshad was hit. Remember the site which was hit? Now again, this thing has started. Why not from Delhi to Kashmir? Why not air? Why do we want to go on a bus? That's a different issue altogether. So we live with all the political.
I think, see, if they are going to have thousands of students going from India to other countries, right? They need to have to put into a fund, emergency evacuation fund. This has to be paid before you go to the study, because depending on which country you study, the number may be higher or lower, because it's the cost of flying you back. And I don't think it is fair for the Indian taxpayer to share it. No other country does it. No other country does it.
Sir, I 1001% agree with you. I have been discussing with a lot of people, because look, out of the whole world, do you want to send your girls to Iran to study?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's America, I understand. If it's Canada, I understand. If it's London, I understand. If the whole world goes, who on planet Earth goes to Iran to study? If you tomorrow you might be sending to all those, God forbid, in Islamic countries in the world to study. There is a problem. A lot of people here feel that if you send your kids to Islamic country, they might be better. And because they are Muslim country, they are fellow Muslim in there, you feel more comfortable there. But then the problem becomes of India. And what you rightly said, why should the Indian taxpayer pay the money? And the problem here is now they've landed in Delhi and they're on a dharna. They're on a dharna. Send us on book another plane and send us to Kashmir. We will not go by bus. Though Delhi to Srinagar now, because with the enhanced highways and that connectivity all is pretty fast. Even we can put them in a train, but logic is that when you land in Delhi, you should be pretty much on your own. Even the government of India is arranging buses from Delhi to Kashmir. Even that part of it seems to be a problem. Why jahaz kyun nahi hai? And then you will tell me why it's economy class, why not a business? Maybe you put a C-130. You say we don't like this. The deco is not good. Why not a business class we need? So there's this kind of madness has to end somewhere. I think even the government of India has to put a 5 foot down. And even I appeal to all these parents of all these kids. Do you think it's safe to send girls to Iran? Do you know what they have done to that Masaha girl, 21-year-old who was not wearing the headscarf properly? They literally killed her. So knowing all that, even if you still want to send your kids there, then I don't think Modi can be responsible for every fiasco in the world, right? And we are very, very careful because exactly what the US is.
Sumitji, I have to tell you a story. In the late 70s, a lot of people who had to leave Iran, every time there's a purge in Iran, right? There's a regime change. There will be people who will be refugees who will be coming, and many of them come to India also. Many of them chose Hyderabad. And the reason they chose Hyderabad is because they felt that, oh, there is Nizam, there is links so that you can go. So we found that there were Iranian students coming to our campuses. And typically what would happen is there'll be 5 boys and 1 girl. And that girl will be in the middle. The 5 boys will be walking like, a fortress, Roman column formation. And we used to wonder, I mean, you have come here to study. We have girls. Why are you doing something? There was that sense of, oh, we have to protect our girls. What are you doing? 5 boys and 1 girl. Nobody asked that question. My point in trying to say all these things is, I see no reason for India to go and study in Iran unless there is like a scholarship being given there that you feel like, oh, muft mein mil raha hai, jayenge. And that attitude is continuing when they are saying that we need to be flown to our hometown. This sense of entitlement. Cut. Sense. Acha, Sumitji, you were there in Jammu and Kashmir, right? Tell me something. What is the subsidy today? Because when I visited in the late 70s, the subsidy was, I'll give you an example. 1 kilo of sugar was costing in 1979, 3 rupees outside of Kashmir, and they were getting it for 44 paisa.
Yeah.
44 paisa. Right? So how is the subsidy now? Because that is something that needs to go. You are part of India now.
I think, so we left in 1990, I've never visited there after that. So, but when I remember as a kid, I was pretty young when we left. I was around 10, 11 years old. So I remember we used to get this, what you call ration and all. It used to be in paisas. 30 paisa, 40
paisa. Exactly.
Nothing was in a rupee. Nothing was in a rupee. You're absolutely right. These were the kind of prices. It was almost 1/10 what of a market price, what you will get in a Delhi, and you will get ample there. There was no dearth of the food and you will getting. So this sense of entitlement has not even gone. Imagine, it's not a question. Even if you take out, and for the sake of God, thank you very much. India has only taken out, I think, Sri Lankans and Nepalis. We are not extended.
Also they have done Bhaichara, exactly. Yeah.
Bangladeshis and Pakistanis. We have been appealing that. I think somebody is listening. Thank you very much. We are not extended these courtesies to Bangladesh. We don't want Indian taxpayers' money to be utilized to that. So now once they landed, so this was a kind of a price. Now, sir, even if you take out anybody, even if we took out so many students from Ukraine, when you get them to Delhi, they are thankful. They say Bharat Mata ki jai. They salute the national flag. Now we are on our own. Now where does this thing come from? Jahaz de do bhai. Why should Modi give you a business class ticket or an economic class ticket? You buy your own ticket. You seem to be coming from very well-off families. So this is something which is atrocious. This is something which I think we should be talking about this, because it's not that you are Kashmiri Muslim, you are entitled to something great. I think, but that is the thing. I mean, we have discussed this before also, because there's a syndrome which thinks I'm a Kashmiri Muslim, I'm superior than anybody else in India, I'm superior than any other Muslims in India. If there's a Muslim of Delhi, he doesn't have to, sorry. Just a second. If there's a Muslim of, if there's a Muslim,
you're fine. Yeah.
If it's a Muslim from Delhi or Uttar Pradesh and all, he doesn't have same rights. He will not ask you for all this. But if it's a Kashmiri Muslim, they will say, "Nahi, hame chahiye bhai, we want this." So where does this privilege and this entitlement come from? That is a question which I am asking. Why should the government of India, why should the taxpayer be funded for that? And when they were going so many numbers to Iran, don't you understand what is the position there? And the war was brewing. Why are we waiting for the disaster to happen? We could have moved at an earlier time? And what if something happens? Then would be government of India responsible for that? These are some of the questions, because what I'm telling you, this diplomacy is not working, sir. And what I sincerely believe, that diplomacy, what we're seeing, what the Americans are doing, I think it's just a smoke screen which they are kind of using. They are planning big. What we are coming to know, what we are joining the dots. The only thing they are trying to say is, let's not give a very clear picture to Iran. And let me tell you, remember Agrachi said that I will make one call to Washington and Benjamin Netanyahu will be on his heels. I know how to stop Benjamin Netanyahu. What did Netanyahu reply him? Netanyahu replied him, go and do as many calls you want. And yesterday, after Israel cuts clearly said, Khamenei has to go. Where he was very clear yesterday, Khamenei has to go. I mean, the things are changing in the Middle East, and you may want, you may not want. The regime change is going to happen. I can bet you, I can give you a writing. Regime change is going to happen. Khamenei is not going to get in power again. And all his squadron of people are eliminated. So there are reports that this IRGC guys, mid-ranks, have deserted in thousands. A lot of them are hiding in those hills of the central Iran. There's a lot of hilly terrain. They're hiding there. They might have a native village there, or they might have a native place or whatever. They have gone and hiding there because they know they are not going to win this war. There is nothing left. And for the sake of God, those people who tell me there are millions of missiles, why are they fighting 20? Maximum is 1800, 𝗟𝗏 1800. And out of that, we have already used 450 to 500 we have used. You don't have more than 1200 left. And I'm talking all kind and type. And what did Israel do? Israel destroyed, I think even today and yesterday, 42 launchers. 42 mobile launchers are destroyed. How many need to be destroyed? Total 100. How many are remaining? 158 are to go. After 58 launchers are destroyed, they cannot even fire those missiles. Forget firing. They can't fire those missiles from the mobile. I'm talking about the mobile launchers. So if you look at the complete scenario of the war, the dynamics are changing, the things are changing. And the only thing what I'm worrying that if these people go crazy and start firing missiles right and left, that will be a catastrophe. But the biggest threat is this. What these guys, what the American intelligence is picking up is Hamas, Houthis, PML, these three especially. They have been fully activated. They have been given weapons. They have the training and all. So the plan is we will attack the American bases through missiles and you do the ground invasion. That is why they call them the duck forms. So let's say there's a missile barrage coming and all. And then if the ground invasion happens at that point of time, in that due point of time, so you will be off guard. The idea is to dismantle as many American assets and to destroy as many or to kill as many Americans. That is what the whole idea is. Before this mullah regime goes down, they want to destroy everything. Now still tell me, my viewers, my friends, so did the coffee with Munir work or not? After that, you see Pakistan is complete chup ho gaya, silent. Pakistan has gone completely silent. That is so. Everything in diplomacy is not what suits my taste buds. As a Trump, I have a MAGA, which is my base, and MAGA wants me to destroy Iran. 79% of the Americans want Iran to be destroyed. Forget Republicans or Democrats. They want this mullah regime to go. When we are looking at such a scenario, what do you expect Trump to do? Trump is doing what he has to do. Iran is doing what they have to do. And Israel is constantly doing what he have to do. We talked about that strike protocol 𝗪, where 4 components are constant and 5th is a gradual escalation. And if you look at the escalation, the gradual escalation is happening every day. With all these talks happening, with all these things, go, no go, 𝗟𝗏 𝗪𝗧, this doesn't, and so Trump doesn't know what he's doing. They don't know what congressmen saying you cannot attack Iran. Every day Congress is approved. All this facade going on. Isn't Iran moving ahead? And what if you look at the casualties? Oh, I don't want to count the dead. I'm sorry, but I have to talk about that. Israel, 24 casualties, around 450 injured. If you look on the other side, the casualties are already touching around 900 to 950, and the dead and the injured has crossed more. The number is in thousands, and we are only talking about the people whose bodies have been found or have been declared. How many died yesterday in that facility was taken out? No count, sir. No photo. Media blackout, internet blackout, electricity bound blackout. Only 5% of the Iran has internet now. 95% of the Iran don't have internet now. Why? And why the communication minister is not allowing the internet to happen? They know why they are not allowing it to happen. They know they are losing this war. But we hope and pray that the war does not become so catastrophic that a regional war erupts. But I am worried about this Tayyip Erdogan, where he might try to flare up the passions. Luckily, Saudis are not biting the bait. Luckily, none of the Sunni countries, minus Erdogan, are really, really concerned. At the end of the day, no, the Shia-Sunni factor works, wherein they don't want Iran to be all powerful. They all want Khamenei to go. And didn't MBS on record say in an interview to American channel, Khamenei is the Hitler of the Middle East? He said Khamenei is the Hitler of the Middle East. And yesterday, Israel Q@, the defense minister of Israel, extended the same 𝗥𝗙. He said Khamenei is the is the Hitler of the Middle East. So how come MBS and Israel Q@s are on the same page? How come they call one person the Hitler of the Middle East? So these are things which need to be contemplated. I think CIA is working overtime, Mossad is working overtime, and we don't know what will be hit tonight. But what I can assure you, definitely something big is again going to be hit tonight. I have no idea what is going to be hit, but let's be prepared that something big is going to happen. Maybe when we meet tomorrow morning, and I don't know, I'm going to talk about China, or are we going to talk about, oh my God, these guys are horrible. We don't know, are we going to talk about China or are we going to talk about Iran? That is something to be contemplated. We don't know how does the night shape up? How do the things shape up in the night? This is a typical load shedding problem, and the loads increases in India. So things like this happen. But so overall, if Erdogan does not flare the passions, I think America and Israel are winning the war. And if I would like you to take to one sound bite of Ted Cruz, wherein he says, we are in the war. So he was asked, what do you mean we are in the war? You are not fighting the war. He says, no, we are in the war. And what do you mean by? He says, I may not fight the war, but my equipment is fighting the war. I may not fight the war, but my equipment along with Israelis is fighting the war. And if you look at Trump, what has been saying, American equipment has proved its worth. We want unconditional support. Now, last point before I hand it over to you, sir. I'm still putting one bait out in the public. Last 16 hours, Khamenei is not seen. Last 16 hours, we have not heard any threat for him. Last 16 hours, we don't know where he is. Last 16 hours, nobody is talking about Khamenei. And before that, everybody was talking about eliminating Khamenei. And now, we are being told he has called somebody in a bunker. And in that bunker, he has talked to some 3 people. And out of 3 people, he has decided who the predecessor is, which out of these 3 people know. What happens to especially if one of these 3 people gets eliminated? There's a possibility. One of these
naam bol diya to, then the target has a painted marker, right?
Then what happens next? So is there a surety Islamic Republic of Iran can give with a timestamp and date? Khamenei is still alive, live and kicking? I have my doubts as an analyst.
So this is now also being talked about in many Western channels also, viewers. We are not alone in saying that there is something missing there. So we'll wait and see. One thing that we did do research while we were talking about what is this thing that draws 10,000 students from Kashmir to go and study in Iran. 4 factors, 4 reasons. Scholarships. Iran offers scholarships to students from friendly countries. Cultural affinity, Shia. Low cost. Education and living expenses are relatively low. 4th, most important, religious pilgrimage and study combo. In other words, you are also being talked about, your religion, what it is, and so on and so forth. But plus, you get an academic degree also. I don't know if these degrees are recognized in India. India needs to have a rigorous program to, make it, because they will have all sorts of whining and, play victim card, and they'll say, oh, the Jammu and Kashmir government has to give us jobs. I think there is still a mind reset that is needed high time. That's something that these people need to understand. I don't know how quickly they can make that change. All these things also make them even more aggressive, as if they have to say something which is against. So this mindset that, my people, look, there are reasons why there are countries. There are reasons why you have boundaries. 57 countries, 2 or 3 countries are ultra rich. I'm talking about Islamic countries. Why don't you declare the entire region as one country and then start distributing your largest to all the other people? You don't even take one Palestinian, for God's sake.
Yeah. ये बोली आपने बात. You stole the thunder out of my argument. I was saying to say, well, you all the generosity for all the world, you want all them want to gather together after having the coffee. Your field marshal said the Islamic bomb is only for Pakistan. It is my deterrence, is not for you. Forget the bomb. You are not willing to take one Palestinian refugee. You want them to go to Germany. You want them to go to America. You want them to go and screw the whole Europe. But you won't take a person. But suddenly you have all the love for Kashmiri students and you want to shower everything for them. And let me tell you, sir, the 10,000 students, they are all not Shias. Even Sunnis who go there. There aren't so many Shias in the valley. Even the Sunnis go there. But the question here is, a country which kills a 23-year-old girl for not wearing the headscarf properly, who literally tortures and kills her, are 10,000 girls or 8,000 girls or even 5,000 girls going from India in Iran, are they safe? Who guarantees their safety? Who's responsible for their safety? Would you tomorrow help Modi responsible for their safety? I think it's not Modi's business. I am being very clear. It's not 𝗟𝗡𝗏 business. You decide where do you want to send your children. Even Sree Sir, being an American, has been advising you don't send kids here. There's not a there's a lot of good environment and all. He's been talking clearly about it. So as an American, as a 𝗏 Bharati ka, beta, he's very candid and telling you it's not very good, it's not very viable here. But if you send them to a God-forbidden country like Iran, and that to a place like Mashhad, and then this religious, what is religious pilgrimage? It is indoctrination. They will put the same thing in their mind. It is basically a kind of a, what do you call, you're kind of exporting your radical ideas to young impressionable minds and put the seeds of radicalism into the various parts of the India. Why you all offer these courtesies only to Muslims and Shias and all? If your education is good, American university is good, anybody can apply. If you qualify, you can pay the money, you can go and study there. Do they offer only to Hindus, only to Christians, only to Greek Orthodox Church, and to this church, that church? No, it's open to everybody, because they are literally giving education. In the name of education, what is being given here? Is it indoctrination? Is it silent, putting those radical ideas into impressionable minds? Or even I have heard, I was talking to somebody, he told me, a lot of girls even get married there and kind of settle over there. It's even that thing is happening. And so, a lot of things are happening, sir. A lot of things are happening. And a lot of things which were happening in the past are getting revealed. The point here is, in my opinion, it's not safe to send girls there. It's not a country where you can trust your girl child with. And if you really want to educate them, I think India has the best of education systems. You don't need to send your kids to a foreign country at the first level, and that too is a foreign country. If it's America and you have MIT, I understand. And if it is a university somewhere in Mashhad in Iran and you are studying there some cultural or whatever, I don't think that is required. There's ample.
There's a city called 𝗏. There's a city called 𝗏 that seems to have a fair amount of universities that support this. Basically, they are creating the future mullahs with a very, very harsh mindset. This is really the thing. I mean, if you're stupid enough to go and learn these things, especially from Kashmir Valley, you have a lot of catching up to do. You come to outside, look at how much India has moved forward. You are still growing apples. Over to you. Let's finish up and then go to Q&A, Sirji.
𝗏 and Mashhad. Mashhad is the number 1 holy city. 𝗏 is the number 2 city. In these cities, they have kept the nuclear facilities, the most dangerous nuclear facilities. And in these cities, they have kept the universities. You know why? It's an all-in-one package. Samajh rahe na? It's an all-in-one package. So if you go to 𝗏 or Mashhad, the religious education or the religious indoctrination, what this mullah regime believes is a way of life, that will be put into your blood. They will push it down your blood. That is what they are exactly going to do. Forget the degree you're going to get or not, but it is your blood. And what we are happy to say that we are only evacuating Sri Lankans and Nepalese. No Bangladeshis, no Pakistanis. No aman ki asha. For a change, no aman ki asha. That is the happy news. At least, why should Indian taxpayer pay for their evacuation? Let failed field marshal send a military plane and evacuate them. Yeah, he can do it. They're a rich country.
So, one other interesting thing that we need to talk about, perhaps the most important one. We have still not talked about Pakistan, Sumitji. So we have about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, Pakistan.
This might run a little bit longer than 1 hour. So, but this is very interesting because just listen to what this is. Go ahead.
Okay. By the way, there's a Pakistani parliamentarian. He stands up the parliament. He says, Al-Adab, Assalamu alaikum, all that. He says, I'm from Balochistan. Baloch brothers, you have to listen this. And you have to wake up. He says, Field Marshal Pak Munir was there Before that, the 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗧 and the, what is his name, defense minister, मैं उसका नाम हमेशा भूल जाता हूँ. What is the defense minister's name?
See, there are too many happening. Who remembers?
What is the name of the defense minister? Not 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗧? Yeah, 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗧. 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗧, the defense minister, 𝗥𝗂𝗎 𝗔𝗓 says, it is our luck that our field marshal is there and we are on the highest table and we are negotiating and talking with Americans, because look, Pakistani economy only flourished when there was a battle in the region. They never made anything. They only export jihad when they were gay. So what is this opportunity? So 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗧 and ख्वाजा आसिफ are right. I agree with you. This is an opportunity of paid jihad. Because if Iran will be smashed, you will get opportunity to make money, because you make money on people's death and misery. So whenever there's an opportunity of paid jihad, you are the people who are sent there for paid jihad. I agree with you. So whatever our hypothesis about the paid jihad of Pakistan is, it has stood true. That is point number one. And this is the Deputy Prime Minister and the Defense Minister. Now this is a parliamentarian. He says, I'm from Balochistan, and I'm happy to tell you our Field Marshal Pak Munir was there and he was talking to Americans. You know about what? He was talking to them about the minerals, of Balochistan. So is Pak Munir trying to sell Balochistan to American interests? Is Munir trying to sell Balochistan to America or to China? Who is exactly trying to sell? Because the same deal he offered to Chinese, now the same deal is offered to Americans. Or is it the highest bidder? Whoever is paying the highest money, the deal will go to him. Is that what is happening? This is something very interesting to see. So Baloch brothers, you know what is going to happen to you. Your Mullah Munir is trying to sell you the future of your generations to Americans, to American interests. So Recordec is still in his eyes, because he believes that there are, I don't know, 15 trillion or, but there's a lot, hundreds of billions worth of minerals which belong to the brothers and sisters of Balochistan. There is somebody wearing a field marshal's uniform. He's trying to get his billions out of your billions, which belong to your future generations. Now the onus is on you. How do you want to settle it? When do you want to settle it? And there's a message from Americans, if you can decode it. The American message is, we're interested in your minerals. We will cut a deal with who offers us the best thing. I think if it is better, you won't cut a deal with Americans, give them Gwadar, give them the Gwadar port and airport. You will be free of Chinese operation. You will be free of Pakistani army. And you will not be recognized as a terrorist organization. And there's a possibility when the free Balochistan becomes a reality, America may be one of the first countries to recognize you, because you still have the second highest reserves of gold and copper under your soil. If you understand what is the potential of that, I think that is something worth a shot. The indications are coming. The Americans are sending the fillers. It's up to you. Do you catch them or not? We want you to cut the deal. We don't want Mullah Munir to cut the deal. Anyway, the problem is that this man will not retire now. This man cannot be court-martialed now. He will be as long in the business as he wants. There's only way to get rid of the man, that is DTH service. You know what DTH is? Direct to hood service. This is one service which is a special service. So DTH is the only service which can work. Minus that, nothing is going to work. And Americans will keep on using him till the time they want him, and that till the time they think it's profitable for them to use this man. Look, when Michel Gorilla, what is his name? Michel Kurela, when he was testifying to the Congress, he was very clear. The congressman told him, as long as Americans don't have to go there, as long as America doesn't have to do the dirty work, as long as this man is going to deliver for you, we are happy with him. Let him deliver. He said, Munir called me and said, sir, I have got your man. I'm deporting him to United States of America. Please tell the President of Secretary of State. I'm sending him on. Oh, very good, Munir. Keep on doing the good job, man. You're good. So, if you can have your problems outsourced, if you can have people dying for you for peanuts, Pakistan is the most apt country. I was on a TV debate. I told them, where do you find a general who will come to you, who will take out his shirt and polish your shoe? That is Munir polishing Trump's shoe. And in the return of that, you pay him some few $100 million. He will give you as many men you want to die. He'll give you state and non-state actors to die. And those dead bodies will not be accounted for anywhere. But on the contrary, you're thinking of going and bombarding a Fardo. One of your GBU's 57s is $500 million. And if you throw $500 million of this man, he'll literally take out his shirt and polish your shoe. So that is what Pakistan is. That is the reality of Pakistan. Whether we like it or not, that is how Pakistan works. So you might get 1,000 bodies in return of that in Pakistan. And you don't know what GBU 57 can do in Fardo. But here, assured, you have already choked Iran on the crucial nerve it went entered. And whatever his promises to General, what was his name, Baghdad and to Khamenei were, they're all down the drain. So he basically dished Iran, he dished Shia people, and he took them on a garden path. That is what Munir did. And for the like of viewers, that is what Pakistan is. Highest bidder, highest bid, right time, right price. Everything is up for sale. 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗐𝗍𝗍 यहाँ बिकती है, कीमत लगाइए कदरदान. It is that Meena Bazaar where everything is up for sale. Only you need to put the right money. And Trump is a businessman. He knows how to put the money and where to put the money. Minimum money, maximum impact, best timing. Welcome to Pakistan. And by the way, there was a campaign run by Tourism Ministry of Pakistan 2-3 years back. Welcome to Pakistan. Have a blast. And I added a line to it. It might be your last.
Sumit, one thing I want to tell our viewers is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Sunday Indian Standard Time, we are going to have Sree Iyer App IOS, and he's going to be discussing the free trade agreement between India and United States and what really happened in the G7 meeting. Remember, viewers, Trump had already returned back to US before Modi even landed at in Canada. So was there like, I don't want to meet you, that sort of a thing? Here is what we are connecting some dots. Yesterday, General Rajiv Narayanan had come, 9:30 last night. If you haven't had a chance to watch that video, do watch it, viewers. Couple of big revelations. One, he said that Qatar software has been reset by India. You want to go and understand what that is? Go watch that video. Very new revelations. Nobody else has talked about it. Another thing is, how much collateral damage has United States suffered as a result of 3 air bases in Pakistan being hit? Noor Khan, 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗪 and Murid says, where they hit they went and took the AC inlet. They just hit that, and that just destroyed everything underneath. So these 3 places, how much was the collateral damage suffered by America? I mean, did American brothers and sisters die there? Because they definitely were in Noor Khan, because they were controlling the nuclear command and control ports. So what happened there? So this is a big challenge. So I think it's beginning to, I'm just connecting the dots. It's beginning to gain credence that perhaps Trump did not want an eye-to-eye meeting, because Modi will say, what the hell were you doing there? See, if Trump says, oh, my people got killed in Noor Khan, then he'll say, why the hell were you there? Right?
You never told us. How do we know you are there? You never told us. How do we know? We thought
this is a problem. I'm a little concerned about that also, that US has all these secret things here and there and everywhere. And what happens to the families? When will they get informed that their near and dear have been killed in a war they did not participate in? See, this is worse, isn't it? At least you say, okay, I killed a few and I got killed. There is a closure there. This is something different. This is going to be revealed.
You are a collateral damage, unfortunately.
Yes, you are collateral damage. But we will be touching upon this also at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And at 8:30, 3 good generals also will be there. So tomorrow is going to be a lot of information, because we sense something going to happen. We sense something is going to happen. So come back and listen to all that. Now, can we go to questions, Sumitji?
Sure.
Yeah. Thought provocateur, thank you so much. Pak wanted taco and chow mein, but got khayali pulao.
wo bhi expired. That too expired, which had expired on the super store shelves. So there was an option of putting in the dustbin or giving to Pakis. I think they are better dustbins.
Rajaraman wants to know, US uses Pak Munir to have Pak bases in case of attacks on Iran. Pak Mullah lost his head. So selfish going against another Mullah. Your views, sirs.
Sir, Pakistan is in business of jihad. I have been maintaining this for years. People used to haunt me on TV debates. What are you saying? Now nobody haunts me for a change, and they are in prepared jihad. You have to pay them in advance. And there's a jihad list checklist. They'll give you this. And they'll tell you, sir, this is a checklist, this is the SOP. My deliverables are this, and the date ends this. So by this time, I'll keep on delivering. If you want me to continue, you have to put the money advance into my money, and I'll do it. The best part is, why does Trump love Pakistan? I'll tell you why. Because if you want UK to come on your side, you have to do alliance. You have to announce the alliance. You have to listen to them. You have to accommodate them. They'll say no, they'll say yes. You have to give face to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. You have to give face to 𝗥𝗘𝗏𝗏. Here you just call one rabid mullah, have a coffee, tell him, okay, we'll give you this, or we'll blackmail you with this, and then Mullaji go and just do the job. Money will be deposited into your XYZ account, wherever, and we know where the account is. And if you start to double cross me, I have already blacklisted your CDC, and you had requested me not to blacklist you and your army. So bloody hell, if you backstab me, I'll blacklist you. And wherever your assets in the world are, including that account and any other account, and your mistresses and your brothers and sisters, everything will be attached, everything will get frozen. So your accumulated personal dollars or billions of dollars, personal wealth will also get frozen. So my dear mullah friend, go have coffee and go and do the job. Go and start killing other Muslims, because that is what you are. And by the way, find a good Maulvi who can justify it as a jihad. So that is a part of the package. The sugar, it's like the cherry on the cake. You put a cherry, any kind of cake, you put a cherry on the cake. You know what does the cherry do? It doesn't add to the flavor. It gives it a good look. So these mullahs will come and say, oh, these are Shias. We had a jihad with them. We killed them because they did this, they did this, they did this. Or they did Lal Masjid, they did this, they did that. And they will find the reasons of doing jihad. So the jihad will be over and the mullah will go and next mullah will come and he'll exactly do the same thing. So it's like when the Uncle Sam calls, mullah comes running, delivers, gets killed or kills people, and the story continues. What I used to say, Bajwa jayega, Khwaja aayega, Niyazi jayega, Qazi aayega. That is reality of Pakistan. People used to say, no, it's not like that. And it is reality of Pakistan. That is how Pakistan works. I might be as candid as I direct you may want me to get, but that is how Pakistan works. It is not what I believe. Watch it on the ground. Forget Ummah and all. They're the people who have betrayed Ummah for 50 years. What Islamic bomb? They got money for 50 years for Islamic bomb. And push comes to shove, the bomb is for me. It's for my deterrence. When did I say it's for the whole world? That is for you, Pakistan. But they're good.
Next one, please. Krishna Kishore wants to know, NTI paid per seat 1 lakh one way for Vande Bharat flights in COVID-19. Why these traitors are given free flights? What is an appeasement at peak? Your comments. Krishna Kishore, I think this is where I was been telling. I see 2 months ago or 1 month ago, I put out, we were talking about the history of Kashmir with Mohan Sonti and I were discussing. And I summarized it at the end that the people in Kashmir Valley who are still living there, not the ones that they have driven out. I'm very clearly delineating the people, basically these are Muslims I'm talking about, who've been Hindus at once upon a time. You have a sense of entitlement that came from all these subsidies. These are going. I don't know when they are going to pull. Did you know, Sumitji, that 80 crores free rations that Modi ji is giving, now inside Jammu and Kashmir, they have matched that, and the Jammu and Kashmir state also gives the same amount. Did you know that?
No.
I have to look for the link for that. When I saw that, I was stunned. Where is the money for all this, guys? What are you producing to justify all these things? And then afterwards, say the center doesn't help. Same trick DMK also does.
𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 kahani yaad aayi. There's a movie, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 kahani. And I'll tell you one thing. One more revelation, as if we are talking. I brought this up on a purpose because when my friend told me this, I was fuming. Bloody hell, you have already got you back to Delhi. Now go and get into a bus and go to your home, or buy a ticket and go home. Why do you want Modi to pay the money? Why do you want Indian taxpayer to pay the money? Now, there's one more thing I tell you, sir. If you look at those Ayushman Bharat cards, they are given to people below a income level or at a X amount of level. Do you know in J&K, these cards are given to everybody? This is the only exception to the rule. Though, as Maharashtra, you might contribute highest to the GDP, you don't get Ayushman card for everybody. But in J&K, everybody gets Ayushman card. Because...
But it's only for 70 and above, isn't it?
No, sir. No, that rule is not for J&K. J&K, everybody is entitled to a card. It doesn't matter how much you...
How can a state pass something like that without the funds to back it up? Why should the center give them the money? The money is going to be the same. Center cannot have a stepmotherly treatment.
You can have
all states are treated equal, sir.
You can have a blue-eyed boy treatment. The problem with the blue-eyed boy is he might be the most useless and nekamma, but he gets the most privilege. So as Maharashtra, you might be contributing highest to the GDP or highest to the exchequer. UP might be contributing number 3. But the problem is that you don't have those facilities. You can verify this, what I'm telling you, that everybody gets a Ayushman card because it's क्या करें, बड़े लोग बड़ी बात है.
Gold Silver, thank you so much for your super sticker. Kalyan Ram Ganti wants to know why US is seeking 2 weeks time to join war unless Fordo nuclear installations are bombed with B-2 stealth bunker busters and Iran is completely defeated early. Iran will walk away emboldened.
You are completely right, but sir, as I've been trying to explain you that this to dismantle Fordo is not straightforward. It's not Natanz, it's not Isfahan. It is 60 to 90 meters below the ground, and there's a big rocky mountain which is protecting it. So even with bunker busters, with 𝗣𝗚-57, you have to really know how you are going to do it and what you are going to do. And there are 300 people inside it. You don't want site to be stopped or site to be contaminated. You want site to be destroyed. If you are getting B2s with 𝗣𝗚-57, then the site has to be dismantled. There has to be a coordinated strike, and it will not be one GBU. I'm telling you, there will be a couple of them which will be used to dismantle the site. So, and for every time, you will need a B2 bomber to go and do there and do it. So it's not going to be so easy. This site is the last piece of the puzzle. If you have this site, they can make bomb within 14 to 24 days max. And they have sufficient uranium there to make the site. And let me repeat you, 23rd of November or 22nd November 2023, IAE reported that there is 40 to 60 kilograms of enriched uranium, that is U-235, that is 60% enriched lining in Fordo. That means at least 2 bombs. 1 to 2 bombs could have been made from that within 10 to 15 days. Now imagine 408 kilograms enriched. Imagine if half of that is there. You can easily make 4 to 5 bombs out of that. That is what Fordo is. So Trump is not insane. Nobody in the world is insane. Netanyahu is not insane why he's trying to target that. And the Iranis are not insane who are trying their best to protect that. It's a game of the nerves. Let's see who wins.
Srinivasan Iyengar wants to know if USA 𝗟𝗚𝗍 can Israel send its commandos well versed with nuclear reactors into Fordo nuclear site and destroy and safely come out safe after finishing the daring open. This is not Guns of Navarone. Sorry.
If Israel has to do it, there's a big plan, but I can sum it up in a minute for you. If Israel has to do it, the plan was to dismantle the crust. Cut there are 4 tunnels and 1 shaft. Cut the 4 tunnels, cut 1 shaft, right? Cut all the comms gear, interrupt the power. And somebody told me they have a generator. I know for the sake of God they have a generator. When you mean interrupt the power, is everything. It's not a line cut, they'll go on generator. So it means they have to completely disrupt the power, because if centrifuges stop while the process is on, this is disaster. So what will it do? It will kill a few people. It will kind of make site useless, and it will possibly contaminate the site. But site is not destroyed. It may take 1 year, 2 year, 3 or 5 years, site can be brought back. So you have to use a lot of F-35, then use a 𝗣𝗚-57 and 𝗣𝗚-28, which can do the job along with commandos and all. It's a hybrid operation. It will take quite some time. But if you want to destroy the centrifuges, if you want to go to the central hall and destroy them, then you need 𝗣𝗚-57. You need B2. Without that, you can't do it. That's the difference. So you can stop or possibly contaminate the site. But if you want to destroy the site, then you need Uncle Sam to help you.
Girish Rao wants to know, will Iran put nuclear bombs on US with the help of Pakistan? I think Pakistan has very clearly made a statement that they are not going to give their nuclear bomb to Iran. See, this is what it is, all hypocrisy.
That is what I've been telling you. The only thing predictable about Pakistan is, you put the money, they will dance. Hira mandi, paisa pheko, tamasha dekho. It's like,
Asim Munir has to be careful, Sumit ji, because if his people don't get malai, if the Pakistani army doesn't get malai from all these deals that he is making, they are not going to be very happy. And try selling blockchain based currency to army Subedar, saying that तेरे को 10 coin दे दूंगा, तू लखपति बन जाएगा. And he said, दिखाइए आप, एक paper 1 coin, another paper 2nd coin, 3rd paper, all 100. This is your money. Try selling it.
He has to be careful, but sir, Pakistan mein one thing is very sure. Things can even turn for Munir any day. And if you think they have no leverage against Munir, we are wrong. They will have a leverage against Munir as well. So when you are called, no photo ops, no press, no publicity, no handshake. It's like that kind of a, what do you call it, a shady shoddy meeting. Usually it is done ki awqat mein raho, this is what you are supposed to go and do it and come back. But officially you are invited. Officially you are invited for a meeting.
Next one, please. Rajesh Kumar says, again, is there a possibility of Iran attacking Pakistan as Pakistan surreptitiously is helping US, in fact openly, or will Iran forgive Pak?
Iran has to protect its backside rather than attacking Pakistan. Pakistan knows that they can't attack. So what will Iran do? They will try their best to be alive and be in the business and save Khamenei's regime, which they are not going to save, and prevent Shah's son from coming back to power, which he will come ultimately, because the people of the Iran don't want this regime. That is their best and the best shot at power. So my take is that look, the biggest proof of the pudding, what I've been telling you from day one. Look at how many missiles are they shooting every day to Israel. Today only 10 or 20, yesterday 40. But every day the firing capability of missiles, either the arsenal is destroyed or it is very limited, or the launchers are destroyed. IDF is targeting launchers and the arsenal depots both. Missile depot, sites both. And we are not even talking about them because that has become the run-of-the-mill talk. So if the numbers of missiles going into Israel are depleting, that means whatever IDF is doing is working in the back end. So with that kind of ammunition with you, you better watch out where are you going to use it. You don't have the privilege what you had earlier. And where are those missiles, and by the way, those two people in the Jeep were Baghadir and Hussein Salami, both of them are, they were going in that Jeep in that missile station where millions of missiles. BS. Where are those millions of missiles?
Akhilesh wants to know, where are the US satellites? Why still not able to take out missile launchers?
Baba, how does F-35 know where to go and where to take out the launcher? They exactly know where to take out the launcher. And
they are also mobile, right? They're also mobile.
Launchers. They are tracking them. Some of them have been even in the mid of tracking, they have taken them. They are tracking them like hell. They are tracking them like anything. And it only between yesterday and today, I think 38 to 42 launches have been taken up. The last 100 are there in the business. So you have another 58 to go. Maybe 2-3 days. Khalas. Nothing to fight.
Blue Eagle wants to know, there was a rumor about Israel out of weapon stock. Is it true? Can Israel hit 𝗪𝗏 nuke site, and can Israel handle Iran without American support? Whatever has been already answered, don't answer that part. Just about the Israel out of weapon stock.
Okay, day before yesterday, 14 cargo planes landed from America. And yesterday, we know that they are coming with, there have been some urgent supplies which have been sent for. There was a talk that the Arrowhead missile sheet is running out of interceptors. They have been replenished by America. So when we talk today, there are 16 to 18 cargo planes which have landed, especially the Arrowhead interceptors, which are a bit less, or due to whatever reasons, they have been replenished by the Americans. So the interceptors are okay. Israel can handle Iran on its own, but to dismantle Fordo completely, you need America. Next. Sachin bhai, next. Am I frozen? Oh no. Okay. Vijay Kumar Srivastava. Questions are here to say the foreign minister of France, Germany, and British meeting the counterparts in Iran. I already answered that, sir. That is all sham. That is nothing which is going to come out of that. That is all diplomatic hogwash, if I don't have a better word. Okay. 𝗤𝗍𝗍 Sarmaji.
Canada said two statements. One clearly mentioning Khalistani extremists, at the same time saying that there is Indian interference in foreign affairs of, Indian interference in Canadian affairs. Does that mean that the relations are not normal yet?
That means we want to get the relations normal, but we want to have the caveats in place. That is how the statements read, and that is what I look, Mr. What is his name? Mike Carney, the new Prime Minister, will aim to do, because he going along the justice path is not going to get anything. So that path is not sustainable. And if you look at his statement, he was asked, why did you call Modi? He said, look, without Modi, there's no G7. It's practically impossible to exclude India out of the game and have a G7. He was candid in that part, at least. So we'll wait and watch how it goes. But every country has a pride, so everybody wants to keep his pride, right?
And 𝗍𝗍𝗍, this thing took place in this state called Alberta. By the way, inside Canada, all the states have their own premier, like Prime Minister of a state, something like that. So they have extra privileges as states themselves. And I think they have the option to say that we don't want to be part of Canada anymore. So three states I'm hearing want to go their own way, perhaps strike a deal with United States. The three states are Alberta, Saskatchewan, and this is the big shocker, British Columbia minus Vancouver. They're saying keep all your gandagi in Vancouver. We don't want to party. The rest of British Columbia wants to go. This is what is brewing now. It will take a few years. But what Trump said when he said that Canada will be 51st state of United States, he wasn't talking out of his hat. These three have been brewing for a while now. Okay, next question, please.
A lot of people think Trump is crazy. His style might be very extempo. He might be talking a bit here and there, but he's not crazy. I can tell you. I've seen an observed man. There are a lot of people who want to do this Trump bashing and America bashing and saying it's good for the TRP. But honestly, this man is not stupid. I had a different opinion about Biden. I used to criticize Biden like anything because he was sleepwalking. He didn't know what he's doing. But this man might have very crude and crass ways, but he's not crazy. What are the implications of all this?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Answer that.
Okay, if this happens, that means there is no second in command. If there's a second in command, how do we know he's second in command? Who's going to take his orders? Who's going to take his legitimacy? And how good or bad is he? Is he a mullah or he's a general? If he's a mullah general, there'll be resentment. If he's a mullah, he has to be mullah of that stature wherein all the mullahs will agree to him. Because it's a combination wherein a mullah was controlling the military. That's a typical Islamic country's logic. But this mullah has to be good enough to control all the mullahs, and all the generals have to listen to this mullah. So if the stature of the mullah doesn't fit, so all your other mullahs will not listen to you. If your other mullahs will not listen to you, forget the military is not going to listen to you. If you have a military man, then why should the mullahs listen to a military man? And the military man is not of that stature, why should other military men listen to this military man? So it's going to be complex. And when these equations start crashing and kind of hitting each other, that is where opportunity is the chaos for a new formation to come.
Next one, please. Rational Utopia again. Sumit ji, an operation like PGurus is coming soon. Israeli ambassador was mentioning about this. Really?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Did he mention about this? I'm not aware of this, so I will not comment.
They won't say this. They'll just do it. It will come afterwards.
With Israel, anything is possible. With Israelis, I have learned one thing. There's nothing called impossible. And, look, guys, let's be candid on one thing. This thing was presented to Donald John Trump in December, and in February he approved this. Now we are in June, March, April, May. And do you think these 3 months the people have been staying on their bottom and doing nothing? They have been preparing, of course. They have been getting things right, of course. But all those, this bachi, Sunday meeting, 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏 is not saying, combing his hair and think he's the smartest person on the earth. But they were all playing him up. What did Trump say? Trump said a very important thing. He said, Iran lost the war on the first night itself. And that's true. When all the people got killed, when we were covering it, that everybody got killed in the first night. So that decapitation of command and control, they literally shot their military mind. They diffused their military mind. That's how it is.
Vijay wants to know, why can't central government bring these students to Delhi and then state governments take them back to their respective states? Why leave everything to central government?
Even why should state governments do it? They can do it on their own. Maximum, you provide them state government transport buses, put them in a bus and let them come. If you are rich, if you can afford, buy a ticket and go. If you are well-to-do, buy a Vande Bharat ticket and go. Or if you can't afford, you might be very, very poor, then the free bus is there. Get into that bus and reach your home. And I don't believe all of these students are poor, because if they are going to Iran to study, they must be coming from reasonably okay families. I don't say well-off families, reasonably okay families. And what is a Delhi Srinagar ticket? 7, 8, 9,000, 10,000 rupees one way. I don't think that's a lot of money, and you should be thanking government of India for doing what they have done, and the people who risk their lives to get you out of there, and the Indian diplomats who are doing, making the turbines go round to make you get you out of those countries. When you go into these countries, you have to budget all those risks. And push comes to shove, things can go anywhere in Iran. And what if tomorrow there's a nuclear leak? There's a nuclear catastrophe. What are you going to do? What is Modi ji going to do there? Shall land a plane in the atmosphere when there's full-blown radiation and get you extradited? That's not going to happen then. There's a limit what Prime Minister Modi can go to. I mean, honestly, let's face it.
Bharat Ratnam wants to know, how does US fund the war? Is it by printing more dollars, or will it sell treasury bonds? Who will buy? US is not in a position economically to fight wars without plunging its economy further down.
Look, first of all, whatever weapons US is sending to Israel is paying the money. They are not sending them for free. Secondly, when you have $800 billion of budget, what is there for? I think out of $800 billion, you should be able to fight a couple of wars. I think $800 billion don't only go to salaries and paying for the housekeeping bills. There's a lot of money which is kept for these contingencies, and every defense of the world has a war fund. There's X amount of money which is kept as a contingency for a war you might need to find. And sir, $800 billion is a lot of money. 800, another, I think it's 880 billion now, if I'm not wrong. Whatever the number is, if I take 800 billion, it's a lot of money. And all these years of reserve, imagine you have $100, $200 billion in your reserve. That should be good enough to carry you for a couple of wars. And push comes to shove, you will print more dollars. Worst case, always you can print.
Karthik wants to know, laugh out loud. Instead of helping Baloch get independent, you are telling them to give themselves to US. I don't think you are saying to give themselves to US.
We are telling them, don't let Munir cut a deal. Don't let Munir cut a deal. You should
cut Munir out of the deal. Cut Munir out of the deal.
So you have to control. You have to talk to US. What do they want? So if it is a deal which has to be done, why don't you go and do the deal? Deal doesn't mean deal does not mean kind of surrendering your sovereignty. If I do a deal with America, I have surrendered my sovereignty. India is one of India's biggest trading partners is America. Have we surrendered our sovereignty to America? No. So where does making a deal make surrendering your sovereignty? There's a difference between the two.
Next one, please. Shrikant Satarkar wants to know, when Christians, Jews, Hindus and communists have nukes, why Islamic countries are not allowed to have nuclear weapons?
Very simple logic. First of all, Pakistan has a nuclear weapon. When there's an Islamic country for last 4 decades is saying debt to America, debt to America, debt to America, they have nothing against America. And when the country says, I want to kind of wipe out all the Jews because they are Jews, and all the Jews must die because they are Jews, and by the time Jews don't die, the day of Qiyamah or Akhirat or Qiyamah will not come. For that day to come, as my religious beliefs, all the Jews have to die and their families have to be killed, their children have to be killed, they have to be annihilated. I have to wipe out the entire civilization for my religious belief to come true. Well, that is where these mullahs cannot have nukes. Simple.
Shashwat Singh, thank you so much. Recently, oil reserves are found in Andaman, so I think our oil imports will decrease, and in best case, will be self-sufficient, that we require no oil. This will take at least a decade or more. It's not it's not a switch that you can turn on.
And that too, your demand is constantly increasing. Your demand, you are not economy growing at 1 or 2%. Then your demands are more or less static. Your demands are increasing by the day. So it will be a long drawn fight. We need a couple of more big discoveries to happen. Maybe if after 5 or 10 years, we'll be in a position where we kind of point, okay. And thanks to Russian oil, which has balanced us a lot. And if there was not Russian oil, we'll be already in trouble, because people are talking of dollar hitting 120 a barrel when the furlough is hit. I mean, this is that.
Thank you, Kumaresh Ananda, for your super sticker. Thank you, Ramesh T. Thank you, Krishna Balu, Political Talk. Thank you, Shashwat Singh. What will be done with IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, if suppose chief leadership is done and dusted?
They will disintegrate. They will disintegrate. They will run for their cover. They don't even want to be known as, they don't want to be known and seen as IRGC. This will exactly happen to what happened to Saddam Hussein's army, but that army unfortunately became ISIS at a later part of time. We hope that doesn't happen. We hope there is a solution, which is, I think the best thing to happen to Iran is, even with Shah's son, if you can get democracy, and if it is 80-90% kind of a democracy, then it will balance itself. Because democracy is this beautiful art of balancing itself. Because look, today, Rahul Gandhi can say whatever he wants to say. You can't stop him from saying. He will have an opinion. Right or wrong is different. People will decide that through a ballot. But Rahul Gandhi can say what he wants to say. But in Iran, in China, and in such Islamic hegemonies, if you even utter a word, you are never to be seen again. That is where the danger is.
Thank you so much, Sumit-ji, and that was a wonderful session. Let's take the Ashirwad of 𝗏𝗍𝗫 now before we sign off.
Thank you very much, sir. And what I would request our friends, like, share, and subscribe. Please put it on your WhatsApp. That is very, very important. And your trust and support helps us to excel better. Thanks for all the love we have been getting. On that note, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Om Namah Parvati Pataya, Har 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 Mahadev.
𝗏𝗏𝗏